When I shared my definition of success last year, being in a place in life that didn't leave me wanting something I couldn't or didn't have informed how I defined the concept of success as it applied to my definition. Absence of want felt like a success and the closest thing to a correct answer to a challenging question that I could authentically provide, especially at that time in my life. Now, I'm not so sure. What is the definition of success really is an almost impossible question to get right because of the cultural and situational considerations that have to be taken into account on both the part of the asker and the answerer. It's too easy to get wrong because the concept of success is a mercurial one. It reminds me of the scene in Conan the Barbarian in which everyone is trying to answer what is good in life. Nobody gets it right, but Conan gets it right enough to please the room.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women. That is good. That is good.
That's what I was trying to do with my first video about success, and it's what I'm trying to do with this updated version. I'm trying to please the room by offering an answer that's mostly right. That's why I invited friends to offer their definitions last year, and it's why I invited more friends to contribute this year. The way I see it, the more contributors I have in a video attempting to define success, the better the chances that the video connects with someone through one of the definitions offered. It all becomes a matter of alignment and congruence in the face of numerous answers that aren't wrong necessarily, but aren't exactly right for anyone other than the person who states the definition in question. And even after you've given your answer, someone else's answer might make you reconsider your own definition, even though you believed it completely when you offered it. The definitions I heard from my friends last year definitely led to me giving the topic additional thought as the year progressed, as well as leading to a re-examination of my original definition when taken out of the moment that I defined it. I still believe that being in a situation of wanting something I can't have or not having my needs adequately met implies that I must not be in a place of success wherever I am in my life when I feel that way. That speaks to a tremendous amount of privilege on my part, but it also addresses the times I lived in abject poverty as a young adult, or the many years getting by as a member of the working poor in below minimum wage jobs. Irrespective of whatever privilege I might be enjoying at whatever status I have achieved, there are details in my life that don't feel like successes to me, regardless of where I'm at in whatever journey I'm on, or even in opposition to any external validation I might receive. It's not just about want or need, nor is it about my status or privilege or any other label people might use to describe the lifestyle they have designed for themselves. None of those details have anything to do with an absence of want for me, and everything to do with an absence of satisfaction at my core and in my identity. Successful? Yes. Satisfied? No. That's been an underlying theme this last year. All the more salient to me due to the previous year's video about success and what I decided to share in it. In exploring my definition of success, I identified an essential aspect of my perception of success, or the lack thereof, that went mostly unaddressed in my last video: satisfaction. I realized that I might be successful, especially from the standpoint that I might not have any unresolved wants or needs in my lifestyle. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm satisfied with that success. And therein lies the challenge this year and why I wanted to revisit this topic. And I'm glad I did too. In doing so, I was allowed to collaborate again with a couple of people who contributed to last year's video, but also with brand new collaborators who added valuable opinions on what success can represent as a defined quality in one's life. With the returning contributors to this project, there was a sense of growth and maturity in newly formed or slightly modified definitions from what they posited last year. And that was fascinating to see and hear because it spoke so much to how transient or fungible success can be as a qualitative measure. With the new contributors, there was a focus on independence and control that was somewhat absent from the first video, but also something of a returning theme in the sense that success seems to be as much a product of personal accountability as it is personal effort. All in all, it made for a fresh take on a previously discussed topic that is so individualized in response that I could probably ask 10 people to give me their definitions of success and get 11 answers. A year later, I could probably get 11 different answers from the same 10 people. Success doesn't have a single metric or data point that confirms it, nor does it lend itself to an easy qualitative definition by people trying to provide a concise explanation of what it means to them. We may understand what it means to be healthy or wealthy, even sharing similar perspectives on both topics given a shared understanding of both. But success remains a very personal and even transformative concept. The diversity really does make for interesting discussion, and I always have time to listen to others define success for themselves. That's why hearing the opinions of others means so much to me from a personal growth standpoint. I hope it helps you too.
What is success? That's a good question. It's a really good question. Initially, I think success should just be an individual definition that's just defined by you. It's going to be different for everybody. But success really to me is just having the courage to pursue. Because in the past, I always viewed success as like a number, a GPA, how many miles you ran, number of subscribers, followers, how many books you've read. It took me a long while to realize that a quantity did not really equal success. So after getting out of the military, going to college, finishing college, I completed a 50-mile ultra. All these things kind of made me realize a few things. There is a huge difference in reaching a goal and becoming successful. The finish line did not really solidify success in any of those situations because it was always the closer I got to the end, I was always looking for something a little bit harder, a little bit more difficult. Lately, it hit me that success is actually being content, happy, and present in the moment you are currently in. If you're pursuing a journey that you're extremely passionate about, then you are, in my definition, living a successful life. Success for me no longer lives at the end of some extreme obstacle anymore. I've now come to cherish the learning, the climb, way more than I even ever care about the diploma or the medals now. I read a quote in college, I think it was from Bob Dylan, and he basically said, "A man is successful if he gets up in the morning and goes to bed every night, and in between does exactly what he wants." And the older I get, the more I desire that simple definition of success. Success is not a finish line far off into the future. Success is now. Success is that passionate next step that you just stoked to be on. So find your path and walk it. Thanks, Ryan. Truly appreciate you giving me this opportunity to be on here and participate by going through this little process of really thinking through what success is. It kind of made me realize how blessed I am, and it also made me realize that I have a lot of work to do. So yeah, thanks, Ryan. Truly appreciate you letting me be on here, dude. Later.
What is success to me? I gotta tell you, I just don't know. I don't know. I grapple with this concept constantly. I'm always thinking, okay, can I experience success right now, or is success something in the future? Is success personal based? Is it business based? Is it goal oriented? Is it big things? Is it little things? And it's a constantly moving target, constantly. I think about my business all the time, and I tend to set my goals and do a lot of work towards those. And so some form of success for me would be I have this goal and I succeeded, I met that goal and I succeeded that goal. But if it's a big goal, I have all the tiny little steps that made it so I could get to that goal. And so each of those are success points. Each of those are wins, I think. We have successes like that. We have successes maybe in our personal lives, in our being versus our doing successes. So a doing success could be that business idea, or it could be like a lot of people want to run a marathon or do something physical. But the being success is I want to be happy. I want to be content. So I think there's just so many ways to look at success. I really grapple with it a lot. And this, knowing I was recording this video, spurred quite a few conversations that I had with people, asking them, this is a very open-ended question. What do you think of success is? And I don't want to just give a cliche answer that we've been told over and over, this is what success is. I know in my industry, I get a lot of imposter syndrome. So I teach a lot. I teach other photographers. And sometimes I think, I'm not as successful as these people over here purporting to make six-figure businesses. Can I still teach? Am I successful enough to teach other people? Is it a money thing? Is it an experience and time thing? All I have to say, I really still don't know. And the best answer I can come up with, Ryan, and those watching, is for me, it's not having to ask for permission. In that, I mean, I've spent a lot of my life asking other people, do you think this is a good idea? Should I do this? Can I have basically your permission? As like kind of a business coach, I see that in a lot of other people and I understand that concept. But for me, I think I leaned on that as a crutch way too much. Even in my conversations with people about what does success mean, I wanted to make sure I wasn't seeking validation from them that my idea of success mirrors them. This is my business. I'm the one who runs it. I can choose what kind of marketing campaign I have. I can choose which clients I will take or not take. I can choose my prices, and I don't have to ask permission for that. I can just do it. And with that is I have to be able to claim success right now. It can't be always something I'm going after, never quite reaching. I hear so many stories of people thinking they've met their goal and they're successful and they don't feel like it. The 5 years ago me would have been like, whoa, you are so successful today. 5 years from now me will look back and say, you were successful then and you're successful now. I don't want to always have to be reaching for it, even though I know it's a moving target. Success for me is freedom, and even the freedom in redefining what I think success is.
The beautiful thing about this question for INFPs like me is that our personalities really shine out. One of the things that I've thought about really strongly ever since my friend Eric Wen made me realize how much of an INFP I was that we tend to not stick to definitions of words. Even if you show us the definition of a word in the dictionary, I have noticed this happen in arguments or conversations where somebody will tell me, okay, what do you mean by this? And my definition of a particular word, usually, even if it's black and white and it says this is what it is, if I don't feel that's the right definition, then it doesn't work for me. So this question works perfectly for people like me. We tend to open that kind of worms and destroy it, buy new kinds of worms. The fact that we get to ask this question, for me, it already shows what this question is all about. The fact that you can ask this question, the fact that I get to decide what is my definition of success, that is already the clue. It's individual, it's personal. My definition is not the same as yours, so it means you can almost never go wrong. I mean, the chances you can go wrong if you pick the wrong definition and then follow it and then waste your whole life trying to follow this definition of success that doesn't exactly tie to your values and your personality. So that's the first clue for me. My definition of success is my definition of success. Now, what I've come to discover over the past year, especially 2021, went through a divorce, went through job change, really had to adjust a lot of my social relationships and personal relationships and figure out exactly what I was doing and why I was doing what I was doing. Success for me really became, or can now be defined as, being able to go after the thing that I want to go for after without feeling the need to have to tell anyone once I've achieved those goals. For example, if I choose to get a new job, or if I choose to lose weight, or if I choose to increase my income, success for me has become this place where I can achieve this goal, whatever goal that I've set that I decide to achieve, and I don't feel the need to tell someone else about it. I don't know if that actually even makes sense. I think it does, but I just feel like it's a very ephemeral thing. Like, it cannot be placed. I cannot define what, okay, if I decide, for example, that I wanted to start making YouTube videos and I make those YouTube videos, my definition of success is such that even if no one sees that I've made those videos, even if I get no views, get no comments, get no feedback, which would be terrible, by the way, my success will be in the fact that I did it and I did what I said I was going to do. So I guess success for me is in terms of keeping your word without a need for someone holding you accountable. The past year has shown me, if anything, is that if I don't choose my goals or my variables based on what I feel and how I want to pursue those goals, then I fall into this path where I do something because I thought someone was going to enjoy it, or I make a video because I think people are going to like it. When they don't like it, I have this double failure of, why didn't I do what I wanted? At least I would have done something that I wanted to do. So, but to wrap it all up, to sum it all up, for me not to go all over the place about success, one, I get to define what success is for me. And two, success is that feeling I get when I know and when I do something and I don't feel the need to tell anyone about it. Whatever goal it is, being able to be at peace with my decisions, whatever those decisions are, that is success.
Hey everyone, it's Eric Wen. Last year in Ryan's video, I talked about how as long as I'm able to help other people, do work that inspires me, fight for something that's bigger than myself, and have meaningful close relationships in my everyday life, that seems like a success to me. What more could I ask for? I think today, 1 year later, something that comes to mind that I'd want to add to that list is something about being happy. And I'm not quite sure if being happy is the right exact word I want to use or way I want to say it, but something about if you are able to be at peace with yourself, be content with yourself, be grateful, satisfied, and happy in the day-to-day, in the boring stuff, amidst a whole bunch of examples of how you could be doing more, how you totally haven't figured everything out, how you're totally messing up. If you're able to be content and happy amidst all that, that's actually a huge success. Something that we should really strive for, I think. Something I think we should work on, put on a pedestal. For those of you unfamiliar, in the past year, my YouTube channel really exploded. It had exponential, very dramatic growth, like 15 to 20x. And with that growth also came a whole bunch of new opportunities to feel like I wasn't doing enough, that I didn't have what it took to take it to the next level, to the next shiny thing around the corner. Oh, all I have to do is figure out how to upload more. Why is it so hard for me to figure out this writing process? This teaching stuff is actually really complicated. Why can't I get it together? I really need to put together a team. I really need to clean up my process. People are asking me for a course, but I don't have the bandwidth to do that. What the heck? We as human beings are amazing at finding new ways to be hard on ourselves, not satisfied with ourselves. That stress really took some of the fun out of what I was doing. I just started feeling like all the stuff that I talked about last year in Ryan's video didn't count. Yes, I'm helping other people. Yes, I'm doing work that inspires me, but I could be doing so much more. And that's not really a healthy way to think about things. After some tough lessons, I think this year, something that comes to mind that I want to practice more is incorporating happiness more into my definition of what success is all about. Being at peace with myself, being accepting, patient with myself, amidst a whole bunch of examples of how I could be doing more, how I haven't figured everything out in the day-to-day when I'm banging my head against the wall. If we're able to be more grateful, appreciative of the process, okay with ourselves, satisfied with ourselves, happy with ourselves and what we're working on and what we're working through, more in the day-to-day, like sort of taking away that sort of lofty, I want to make a difference, I want to help other people out, like disconnecting your happiness from all of that. And if you're able to just be happy in whatever you're doing in the day-to-day, in the boring stuff, in the hard stuff, I actually think that that's a huge part of success. If that's not there, everything else sort of falls apart. And so this past year, I've started learning to work on that, put that more in my definition of success.
I look at random scribbles of poetry and thoughts, and I see how much of it has to do with rejecting a certain view of success and the wrestling that comes with going deeper into this stuff. I love it. I could think about this stuff for so long. See all the things and how important you made them. Is it what you need, based on reason or joy or obligation? Want isn't supposed to be a catalyst for miserableness. Punish yourself and everyone who loves you suffers. Who sold the system you live under? How is their life and how is yours? How are you and what's the answer if you had nothing to gain from convincing you that you're all right? Stop producing, pushing, grimacing, sucking up and smiling, fed empty calories, fed spiritless church, fed billionaires' platitudes, dreaming of freedom. I'm more interested in the things that aren't things, feelings of being special and successful that are already there in my heart, in enoughness without having something to prove it. People more successful and talented than me have given up, so when I keep going, I think I've surpassed them. What if it's not good enough? Is a thought that prevents success, or growth in general. Fear is the hurdle. If the ambiguous it isn't good enough, I'm not good enough. My identity is at stake. My purpose, my life, my existence. Creators face existential dread a lot. The outlets become jobs, become careers, and the stakes are higher, and what started as fun and freedom can become an impossible to-do, or it never starts. No word is written, no video recorded. It's a locked file in our brain, a what-if squashed into silence. Safe, comfortable inaction. Blissful, amusing distraction. The terms have to be in your own head. You have to define success, or it will define you. You'll never add up. You'll get bitter about your results and blame others about what they should have done. Success is showing up. It's an image you hold in your head about who you are, the place your motivation and drive comes from. Goals are made hopefully. Relationships invested in purposefully. Success is a mindset that creates what it believes in.